Hello, it's me, Robin, with Simple Food, Simple Life. I wanted to show you something that's very, very easy. And hopefully this is going to be quick because these are all of the ingredients that I have to make this wonderful rice dish. Now this rice can be a side dish or it can be a main dish. And if you're on a budget, I'm telling you, this is very, very, very inexpensive. Now, look what I have here. I've got some rice. Now, I usually pick up my rice in 5-pound bags. It's just regular rice. And I pick it up in 5-pound bags. It's only about $2 maybe. It's not very much. You can get it at Aldi or even the Dollar General store, wherever. 5 pounds, I like to keep a canister of rice. So what I have here, I've got 1 cup of uncooked rice. This is not instant rice. It is just regular rice. And what I have here is I have a quart jar of some turkey vegetable soup that I canned right after Thanksgiving last year. And normally the ratio when I cook rice, I use 1 cup of rice or 1 part rice to 2 parts water. So I'm going to use 1 part rice, which is a cup of rice, and I'm going to use this quart of soup. And the reason I'm using the whole quart is because you see some of the liquid is displaced with the vegetables and the turkey that is in there. So I know that I don't, even though a quart is 4 cups, my liquid is displaced, so I'm going to use that whole quart. And I really want to get all of those good vegetables in my rice dish. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to got my pan ready here. I'm going to take my rice. Now this is easy. This is all you do. Just take your rice. It's uncooked rice. And I'm going to, and I've already popped the lid on this. See, I have my handy dandy opener here. And I'm going to pour this soup that I made. It is a turkey vegetable soup that I canned, and I used my canner to do that. And so I'm going to turn my heat on. Let's start it on high. And okay, that's it. Now, well, that's not it, but let me show you what we're going to do. Now, let's stir that up a little bit. Now, and this soup smells really, really good. And what is in this soup is some leftover turkey. There's some potatoes, green beans, carrots, peas. What else do I have in there that's good? Oh, there's a little corn. So it's good. It's nutritious. It is delicious. Now, I'm going to leave the lid off of this. I'm going to bring it to a boil. If I think I need to add a little more water, I will, but I kind of don't think I will. So, okay, here we go. It's going to come to a boil, and we'll check it when it comes to that boil, and I'll show you what to do next. Easy, easy, easy. And I know I've got overkill on this pan, but I just wanted to have lots of room to show you what's going on here. All right, we'll be back. All right, you can see this is coming to a boil, and that's what I want. And I'm going to let this boil pretty hard for 5 or 6 minutes. And then I'm going to turn the heat off, put this lid on, and let it sit. I'm cooking the rice by the absorption method. So I am bringing my rice to a boil. In a sense, I'm kind of parboiling it hard. And then I'm going to turn that heat off, put the lid on to contain the moisture, and let it absorb all of this soupy goodness, okay? All right, so it's boiling hard. We will be back, and I will show you when we come to the part where I got to put the lid on there and shut that heat off. All right, this has been cooking for a few minutes. You're looking at maybe 5 minutes. And now I've turned the heat off, and I'm going to put my lid on, And since I've got my heat off, I'm just going to leave it on that burner, okay? It's still going to boil a little bit, but that's okay. It's fine. Now I'm going to just leave it alone. I'm not stirring it. I haven't stirred it other than in the beginning. And I am just letting it sit, giving that rice a chance to absorb all of that soupy goodness, okay? All right, when it's done, we'll be back. I'm going to show you what it looks like. And this is not taking very long, believe me. Now you can see through there that the boiling is starting to calm down a little bit because I have the heat off. Now, I want to tell you something. Don't remove the lid. I know it's tempting. Don't remove the lid. Don't stir this. Just leave it alone and let it rest. Give that rice a chance to absorb all of the liquid. It will do it. Just leave that lid on because we want to contain the moisture, okay, so that the rice can suck that up, and then it's going to plump that rice up. When it's done and all the liquid's absorbed, then we will take a fork and we will fluff that up and mix everything in there. You're going to see how easy and delicious and how inexpensive this is. Okay, we'll be back. Here you go. I just want to give you a peek of what it looks like now. Now, my timer is just about up, so in a couple of minutes we'll come back and we'll fluff this up with a fork and I'll show you. Ooh, it's looking good. All right, here we are. My timer's about to go off. Now, I set my timer, after I put my lid on, I set my timer for 15 minutes. But it kind of depends on the quantity of rice you have. You might need a little more time, a little less time. You just have to kind of judge for yourself. But the important thing is it's better to give a little more time than not enough time because you want all of that liquid to be absorbed. And remember, you can do this with just plain rice and water. And just make plain rice because plain rice can be used in a lot of things. And remember, the ratio is always the same. 1 part rice to 2 parts liquid. Okay? So keep that in mind and just use exactly the same method that I have just shown you. And you can make rice without buying inexpensive minute rice. You don't have to make it. You can make large quantities of rice, put the rice in freezer bags, pop it in your freezer, and you can have rice anytime you want for any dish that you need, okay? Very, very, very economical. And a couple of bucks for 5 pounds of rice is pretty doggone cheap. Okay, here we go. You ready? Oh, are you ready? Okay, all right. There we go. Now I'm going to take my fork here, and I'm going to kind of fluff this a little bit. You can see that's pretty much absorbed. Now, my soup, and I'll put a link to the video about making the turkey vegetable soup. I'll put a link to that so you'll know how I did it. My soup had a little bit of fat in there, and come on, fat's not a bad thing necessarily. Come on now. So this, you can see the glossiness of it. You see how nice it is. Now, I want you to look at that. Look. Now, keep in mind, I used a much larger pan because I wanted to have lots of room so I could show you. I could have actually used a smaller pan. But what we have, we have either a main dish or a side dish. So let's, speaking of dish, let's dish some of this up because I want to show you what this looks like. Okay, now look, what do you see in there? There's some turkey, there's some carrots, there's potatoes, there's onions. And if you go back and watch that video that I made of how to make turkey vegetable soup, I'm going to put a link to it in the description so that you can go back there and you can do it for yourself. And you don't necessarily have to use turkey. You can use anything you want in there. Leftover chicken or whatever. Now see, what have I got in there? I've got some green beans. I've got some carrot. And you know what? And tomato. Isn't this pretty? Well, you know what? I think I didn't put tomato in this. I used some paprika in it because I didn't have any tomato. I was using what I have, if I recall. All right. Now, I haven't seasoned this because, you know what? My soup was already seasoned, wasn't it? So, here we go. I'm going to taste this. Hot, hot, hot. Mmm. That's really good. The rice is done perfectly. It's not mushy. All the vegetables and the beautiful soup ingredients are in there. This is really wonderful. Now listen, I want you to try this. It's quick, easy, good, 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 okay? All right. I got faith in you. I know you can do this. If I can do it, anybody can do it. And if you want to save some money, give this a try, okay? All right. Hey, I love you. You know I do. And you know what? You just remember one thing. That little is much when God is in it. Okay. Talk to you later. Bye. Thanks for watching Simple Food, Simple Life. Give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Don't forget to subscribe and share.